What is going, everybody? What is going? What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Unplugged Nation. And today I have a good friend of mine up on the podcast. You may know him from SCW77 and or Kev7. Our good friend Kev joins us today to tackle all the questions, to answer all the questions we didn't ask. Here we go. Let me bring him up. Welcome, good sir, to the podcast.
SCW77. Now, there's a blast from the past, isn't it?
Blast from the past. That's where we started, man.
Mhm.
That's where we
Yeah,
started. We crossed
absolutely.
paths as SCW77. So he is SCW77 is at the heart, is at the root of everything. It all goes back, all leads back to SCW77.
That
You
is,
know,
that is actually still me.
yeah, it's actually still
Yeah.
you,
Technically,
but
it is actually me as well.
but it's the car you. It's the
Yes.
car.
Yeah.
It's the vehicular side of you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
which I still find those videos awesome. The like the way you did
So, so
the
do
like
so do another so do another 45 people since I stopped filming in
since
November
you
last year.
since you stopped filming. I mean, it's been crazy, man. It's been a crazy ride. Seeing your rise, your success is a
Hmm.
glorious thing to see, man. Um,
Hmm.
like knowing how hard you worked over at SCW77 and then carrying that workload over at Kev7 and watching it just like kind of with a certain tool army, just went boom,
It was tough.
really overnight. I was just,
Oh
Adam
yeah.
and I, Adam, Kev, and I are always part of like the war room. We war room a lot, or we
Yeah.
will, we have access to it. So
Mhm.
we a lot of behind the scenes stuff, um, and we both are so happy that your channel is on all cylinders, man. Just like,
Yeah, it's still going. It's great. It's still going. It's helped from everybody. I mean, the encouragement. You know where the encouragement came from. The encouragement came from
yeah,
you, me
my
tidying up
lack
your
of
mess. You
my
finish.
lack of finishing a
Mhm.
journey.
Start a project. It sounds so. You've got a theme in your life that
I
I've
do,
learned
I
so
do,
far from you.
I do.
I can name three things already. Certainly, the World Cup. That's where it started. There was a certain deck you were building that seemed to go on for about 14 years. That took
What
forever.
that deck can
And
drink now.
also the third one I shall quote is a TV that got put on the wall randomly in the wrong place after
This
sitting in
is
the wrong
true.
place for many, many, many months.
Many months. I was tired.
Mhm.
Like it was out of the principle of the thing. I that TV. I was just very. I was very stubborn. It was placed ridiculous. Like I don't know where. Like I don't know why I thought my setup would be enhanced by craning up to look at the
Yeah, just look
TV
it up.
or at the monitor,
Mhm.
and it ended up back on the table. It ended up back on the table right next to my laptop. I was like, you know what, this is ridiculous. Everyone's right. I'm wrong. I'll swallow the pride. Life is about
Just did it though.
life is
Just did
about
it though.
swallowing pride and admitting defeat. Um, yeah. So we've
So
had
that was
this history.
I took you off track there entirely. Took you off track there by talking
Yes.
absolute nonsense, as tends to
No.
happen
It's
when me and
it's
you end up
yeah.
speaking.
There's no rhyme or
Yeah, no,
reason.
the channel grew very quickly. It was encouragement from everybody, the community, your community that I was part of, the Arias and the Nation, which began with Embrace the Sub 21, obviously, then went into your channel. Then we started talking, and the community joined me in the World Cup journey that we were on
Yeah.
together, essentially, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then it was all their idea. It was all
It
their
was
idea
yeah.
to make
It's
to make a
crazy.
new channel. The name and everything came from input from people, and yeah, that's obviously grew very, very quickly with the introduction of the tool army, but continues to grow and not far off hitting that magic 1,000 now. So
I can't wait, man. My goal is that
no.
everyone on the platform supersedes me. That is my goal. Just blows past me. I'm fine. I'm
Never,
fine with being the
never.
old man on the mountain showing the way up. I'm fine with that. If that is my role, like where's the top of the mountain? Up that way. Follow that path. You got it. you know.
No, well,
Um.
we're climbing up after you. You're part of something a lot bigger as well, anyway. So
Well, I just my thing is, I think I've talking with like my wife and stuff, it's not. I'm putting a hold on chasing numbers. I want to start creating. I'm just gonna just start trying to focus on substance, original content is what
Yeah.
is what I'm trying to say. Original content, stuff that can't be copyright claimed by Arsenal. So stuff like that I can put out. Like I give Arsenal such a bad name, but it's whatever. They were
Aaron
on
Gooners.
every football video block. They're like Arsenal. Like, I'm done.
It's
I'm
funny
done
that
with
is. It's the Gooners. Damn them Gooners.
I'm just like, okay, apparently they need my viewership, my monetization, my money. Like that,
That's
take it,
strange.
take it.
That's very
They
strange.
obviously need it. Maybe they're in dire need of trainers. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe they need to get some Clorox wipes for their stadium seats. So they just need to block everything. It's fine though. I'm not salty.
No, not
What
at all.
I was gonna say, man, it's so interesting to see your journey, your community, because like not only do we share like a very core group of subscribers, of friends and family of our community, like you're also getting a lot of people from across the pond, which is near me, which is funny.
Yeah.
You have a
Mhm.
lot of like
Yeah,
during your midnight
definitely.
streams, I'm noticing
Yeah.
like there's a lot of US side people. And I'm just like,
There
wow,
is.
that's
Yeah, there is.
so interesting. And I
Yeah.
it's something that it's very interesting to see the dynamics of the chat. You know, it's just
Well, that's vice versa. That's vice versa for me when I come into your live streams, even Embrace the Sub 21 streams as well as Arias in the Nation streams. It's nice to see. It's interesting to see where people are from in the UK.
yeah,
Whereas
yeah,
I get my followers are predominantly, well, there's a good amount from the UK, but there's predominantly from the US.
yeah,
And as I keep saying, I will get some sort of location map in this area around at some point and pinpoint, because there is loads of locations, as you said. You've been in the live streams as well,
yeah.
and met all these people that have come in and said, yeah, I'm from here, I'm from here, I'm from here. So
So after I liked where I'm trying to segue this. Like, how do I segue this? I feel like with us, it's just a very off the cuff. Wherever it goes is where it ends up. Um,
yes.
it's kind of interesting to see the evolution of Kevin D7. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it, man. And I like that you took a step. I like that you took a step in a different direction from STW 77. You went Kevin D7, and that
Yeah.
the creation of that, it opened up a lot more, because STW 77,
Really good.
while very entertaining, is just very centric to cars, everything about cars, and
Mhm.
that I feel like
Mhm.
cars are still your passion as well. There's
Yeah.
still it's
Yeah.
still inside you, that car bug, right?
Yeah, I think ultimately I'd just like to have more to put into that channel. But as a content creator and somebody that watches content, you watch content as well from YouTube, from other creators that we won't know about, that me and you have spoken about, but other people that know you won't know that you watch those channels, same as me. And I know that it is a popular thing and people still watch it. But once you've done a lot, and once you've done a driving video around the local roads, is that not it? Is that not it done then? So it's. I would think as somebody watching content, well, I've seen that already. I've seen you do that. Is that not the same road you were on? I know the different roads because I don't go on the same roads. I specifically don't pick the same roads
Yeah.
to make it interesting. But if you're just flicking between my videos, you wouldn't know it's a different road that I'm speeding around or having a laugh on or
It's like
doing whatever I'm doing.
one. You just said it all came from one video,
It
one
just looks the
long
same.
ass
It
road
just looks
trip.
the same.
Yeah.
So I don't
No.
want to bore people with the same content. So you said something earlier when it sort of towards the beginning of the podcast here, you were talking about it being, a hard slog on SDW 77, and it is because it's expensive for a start because it's my car, and
Yeah.
I've had some damage to the car from doing the videos that I just have to absorb that myself. So it's petrol for the car and any sort of injury to the car. It's also quite risky doing it. And generally, although the videos are as I've said to you before, 9 to 15 minutes. I'm out for sometimes an hour and a half
Yeah.
to film that footage. So the editing takes forever. So it is really hard work. And then more despairing, because when you do all that hard work, you spend hours and
Yeah.
hours and hours, potentially days sometimes, that you then get 20 views, 30 views, 40 views. You
Yeah.
go, oh my God, what is the point of this? So but
Yeah.
as the channel grows, you start to get more views, and you start to think, well, it is worth it. The thing with SDW77 is I normally film with 2 cameras when I'm doing those videos. So it takes much longer time to edit. Whereas
Got it.
77 is this is
This.
what you see.
It's this.
We sat here.
Yeah.
This is the studio. This is it. And if I'm
Yeah.
going out, I've done a couple of videos where I'm out and about. Then I'm out and about. That's just me filming. That's easy. That's natural to me to just do that, because that's like SDW77's videos. But here, it's much more straightforward. The editing's much more straightforward, and it is still as enjoyable as doing those videos, because it's new music and it's new this and it's new that, or it's experiencing something new. So and this channel's obviously grown a little bit quicker because of that input from
Yeah.
the
Well, you
fans
can,
of the bands that
and
I've reacted to.
and honestly, it's because you can get to uploading more content quicker.
You
It's
can,
just,
yeah,
and
accessible.
it's just straight up. You can unload 3 videos a day, and you can be
Yeah,
found by
yeah.
the all ever watching algorithmic gods out there.
Easy for you
Yeah.
to say.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
What
Well,
was
the
that?
reaction videos, you're looking at what a track from a band. So a track
Yeah.
from a band, what you put, anything from 3 minutes up to 15 minutes. Some of these ones I've
Yeah.
listened to. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I can aside from the listening to the track itself, the editing of that video will take, each individual video will probably take 30 minutes, whereas an SDW77 video editing will probably take 6 hours, and
Yeah.
that might be across 2 days that I do those editing, because I'll go out in the day to do the shoot. I'll come back in the afternoon, relax for an hour after I've done it, then start editing around 4 or 5 o'clock, and it might not be finished before I go to bed. So I'll carry on the next day. So it's a lot. It's easier to produce content, but it is no less enjoyable to do it this way.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I see the joy. Like, I'll put it that way, man. I see the joy in what you do. And I mean, I envy you finding some of these I envy you finding some of these artists for the first time that I'm used
Yeah,
to. Like Tool, like it's
yeah,
beloved to me. And I'm like, oh man, I finally, after seeing you embrace something that I'm familiar with, I
yeah,
totally got the concept of of how people view Embrace the Suck 21, watching
yeah. Well, that's good. That's
beloved
good.
stuff. And I'm like, okay, okay, I get it.
Because
I get
that's
it.
the seed that planted within me, watching those sort of reaction channels like your reaction channel, Embrace the Suck. That puts you in the good. That's really good. I'd really like to. I'd really enjoy doing something like that, discovering something for the first time, and doing that. But I can't do that on SDW77. That's not going to work for
No,
me. Randomly
no.
start doing a reaction video on SD. I tried to draw in something new with opening football stickers. I went on the basis that like old football stickers from a
Mhm.
long time ago that have been kept by people that are unopened, and you never know what you're going to get in the football. Same as Pokemon type
Yeah,
sort of ideas of opening old Pokemon packets. And people didn't like it. People unsubscribed because of that. They weren't happy that I did this little side
yeah.
track. I just had the connection that if people like cars, they
They
might
like
like
stickers
football as well, but
and
it didn't.
football. Yeah. Wait, people
Yeah.
can like cars and football? Get out of here. Impossible.
But they didn't.
Impossible.
They weren't having it. They weren't happy. I think I lost 30 subs from that
Wow.
video. And when you're a small channel, when it's tiny to begin with, like 30 subs really hits you, doesn't it? I mean,
You're just like hemorrhage. Yeah, you just
it is. It's like,
hemorrhage
oh my
subs. Like,
god,
what did I
sorry,
do? What did I do?
I'm sorry, I won't do it again. I won't do it
Yeah.
again.
No,
Oh,
it's interesting how, like, you know, you're uploading almost daily, Kev. You're uploading almost
I
daily.
will
Like
do, yeah. I
you're
generally will do, yeah.
honestly, you're always in the feeds. I see that little Kevin
Mhm,
D7 little dot on my subscription is always blue.
mhm.
It's I'm like, okay, okay,
Yeah,
he's on to
something
just
new,
something
something
new. And it's
new. Yeah.
just interesting to me to see like people people flock to YouTube and certain channels because they're expecting something. You know, like they expect to see, okay, Kev or STW77 is my safe space to go to when I want car stuff. And
Yeah.
any kind of change in that
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I guess in that world, in that scope of cars, it has to be cars or nothing else. You know,
Yeah.
people find and people create these communities like safe spaces. Like, all right, this I know what I'm getting when I go here because that is it. This is the one
I
thing
know.
in
Yeah.
life
It is.
I can depend on.
Yeah.
Um, and so anytime you implement or try to implement change, it's always met with resistance first and then accepted
Yeah.
gradually.
Yeah. It is. It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, both channels. I didn't go into. I didn't. There was no I never had in my head at any point that I'm going to do a YouTube channel. That was never the point. I bought that other car, which is now sold, which most people know. Probably the followers of SDW77 don't know that yet because I've not told them, but because I've not done a video. But that car sold, and it was on the back of that car. Well, I've got the two of them now. There might be people might be interested in the journey I'm going to go on with this car, which is modifying a little bit and having some fun with it on the local road. So I'll make some videos. 20 people watched the first one. I was like, 20 people? No way. I wasn't expecting that. I thought maybe 5 or 6 people might watch the video. Honestly and truly thought that.
Yeah.
And then people started, like 5 people subscribing. I'm like, what, subscribing as well as watching the video? That's I never expected that. It was for my benefit. I liked watching the videos. I liked what I would drive in my car many years ago and think, that drive was great. That I just did. They really enjoyed that little bit of road that was on. It'd be great if I was filming that. So it's always been in my head to sort of film drives that was on, and then that did work on a channel. Other channels have done it sort of, not specifically just the way I've done it, but similar, and it did work, and people do like it. But you know what? And you can edit this bit out if you want. You don't have to keep this bit in. I've just looked back on SDW77. I haven't looked at it for months, really, the analytics of it. And what I noticed was the very last long video that I did rather than a short, because I did a short just going, don't unsubscribe. I will come back to SDW77. I'm not abandoning it. And people still abandoned it. But I did that was a short that I did. But before that, I did a long video about a device that you can plug into the car's computer to do things to the car's electronics, And I went back and looked, that's had 5.9 thousand views. No idea. The last time I looked, it was 146.
That's awesome.
The last time I looked, it was 146 views it was at. It's now my top video. It's my top video. It's the last video that I did. It's my top video.
Because it's
about this thing. It's called Carly.
Yeah, it's a product
and it's a little
review
thing that you plug in.
And
it is. That's what it is. Is it worth it? Is the title of the video? Is it worth it? Carly, is it worth it? And the last time I looked, I thought that's not a video that does well on my channel. They like the driving videos. That'll go into the thousands. I look back and I just went into SDW7 videos, most popular. That one was first, 5.9 thousand in 4 months.
And you're like, what?
That's done. I think that's the most of all the videos across SDW77 and Kev77. I don't think anything's reached that yet on any of my channels.
Well, I mean,
I was like, no way. No wonder it's still going up, because that video is getting watched and watched and watched.
Yeah.
And watched.
Well, it's actually kind of interesting, because you have something like us on this side of the YouTube, this side of the cameras, called like evergreen type content, and it's as long as that product exists, there will always need to be a review of it in real time. So as long as people can still purchase said product, that video will always remain valid. So
and I've always followed the YouTube. There's certain YouTube rules you have to follow in terms of how to present or create a video for people to even start watching it. And as much as I hate being in the YouTube box, which we've talked about a lot of that stuff does work, and it is true. You do have to have a basic knowledge of how it works on YouTube and what you need to do, how you need to present it. Don't have an intro longer than 30 seconds, all of that. That does work, and it's correct. I get it, because that's the way I watch YouTube. So that's what I would expect of people watching the content that I create. So I'll get all of that, but it's not changing the way I'm going to do videos for Kev77, and it's not going to change the way I do videos for STW77, because that's what it is. I moved to Kev77 to allow me the freedom to just go, I'm going to make a video about this today.
Yeah.
Now, as it happens, I've lent into quite a lot of reactions just because that's where it's led me at the moment. But that's not going to restrict me to just doing this. I
Yep.
will do other things as well.
Yeah, no, it's super interesting, and you know what I'm really rooting for is your football journey, your American football journey.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's been interesting. That video is doing well as well at the moment.
I mean, I'm just super invested because I had a similar journey on my YouTube channel, and
Yeah,
it's just like soon we'll have to come together. Once you have you have you decided on a team, or are you keeping that
I was
close to your
looking at my
chest?
pad. I do like the idea of the Jacksonville Jaguars just because of this idea that they're going to move to London. I've not looked into it any further whether that's been sort of whether that's a definite or not. But I do like that idea. But yeah, there was a few teams. There was a good few teams in there. There's the older teams which I'd heard of. I like the Raiders because they were a bit dirty. I like that idea, a
Yeah,
bit dirty, but they have all the ruffians in the team.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to pick it. There's a couple of, I think there's one other video I'd like to watch that might maybe help me a bit more. But I just like seeing the people's comments that have put in all the teams' names in, and I'm just going, okay, very good,
yeah,
very good.
yeah.
That's my team. So, which is
You
what I
see,
wanted. Which is what I
yeah,
wanted in the comments. That's what you're looking for, is for people to get invested and involved in it, which is people are, because it's with you, it's football, our football, and with me, it's your football.
yeah.
And that's and
It's a
that's the
whole
difference.
different beast because I feel like across the pond, our football gets trashed all the time, and I get that. I get that. It's like I understand that it's not comparable, and you shouldn't try to
No, they're
compare.
massively different. They are
mm,
massively different
Like
sports, massively different.
you can't have a proper football mind and look at American football. Like you got to forget
Yeah.
that how that time and how the gameplay is viewed. You got to forget that and go into something
Yeah,
brand new.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you can't once you start comparing, there's no comparisons. There are
No,
none.
there isn't. No, no.
And so and that's I feel like the biggest hang up for everyone. That's like so it's hard for people that like you grow up with one kind of sport around you your whole life, one that's
Hmm.
king, right? And they're like that
Yeah.
is the law. This is the law of the land. This is practically a religion, right?
Yeah.
And to move over and objectively view something else is hard. It's
It
hard.
is. It
You
is.
have to separate yourself from that religion for a brief second to
Mhm.
even grasp concepts of that of a sport. Um,
Well, the draw's there, and that's why I've come back to it, because there is a draw. I am drawn to it and I think I'm drawn to it because of the spectacular. It looks spectacular when you're watching it, and I can see and identify as somebody that enjoys sport. I can see the level of skill and tactical nous that's involved in it just from watching it as somebody that knows nothing about it. Really, I can see
yeah,
that, but if you were to put somebody down, if we've got the alien, right? We've got the alien. Here's the
yeah,
alien. We're on to aliens right on here. Here's the alien. Mr. Alien comes in. Now, Mr. Alien's from a planet that's civilized, and they're similar to us. He understands what sport is, Mr. or
hmm
Mrs. Alien. They understand what sport is, right? And you sit them down to watch a game. I was thinking about this the other night. Which game are they going to follow easier? A game of football or a game of American football, or the two different games? I suspect they're going to watch it and be able to follow a game of football
yeah,
easier than sitting them down and watching. And that's the only thing that frustrates me and has always frustrated me about American football, as I'll call it, or the NFL, is because I can't just sit down and pick it up. I
no,
do feel like I need to read something, I need to learn something about it before, and that's
yep,
what's always put me off delving
yep,
deeper into it, because it involves actually quite a lot of investment into understanding the game before I can take full enjoyment from all of the
yes,
people that are in the stadiums watching it.
yes.
I don't get it to that level.
Before you take in the ambiance of the game of like the spectacle of
Mhm.
holy shit, this is a massive stadium that's packed
Yeah,
and this
yeah.
grand, huge, like gladiatorial arena that you're in. and
Yeah.
the essentially the billions of dollars going to making this a spectacle.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
you have
Lot
to
of money, yeah.
understand how the sport is played, and it's one of
Mhm.
those sports that you can't even pick up by going to the match. Because you know how, like,
Yeah.
sometimes you
Yeah.
can watch a sport on TV and they're like, well, you had to be there. And you go, then you're like, okay, things are, I'm getting it.
Yeah,
I'm
you can be
understanding the
involved more,
rhythm.
yeah. Mhm.
But
Yeah.
no, the NFL, you definitely have to do your due diligence and
Yeah.
put together the rule book with what's going on the screen. Like,
Yeah.
that's how to follow it. And but just like football, it changes every year. It's a very dynamic sport that changes, and sometimes people don't even know all the rules, hence all the
No,
penalties.
but probably an easier transition from somebody that knows NFL to go. I'm gonna learn the about football. I'm gonna learn what football is. That's probably an easier transition from somebody
Yes.
that going. Well, I know football. I'm gonna try and transition into learn what the NFL is. Now
No.
that's a much more difficult transition between the
Yep.
two games. Even if you've got a basic knowledge, which is all I have of
Well,
NFL, and that's what I've got a bit, but it's a bit better now because I've got the videos. I've done the videos. I've learned a little bit now. So
yeah. No, it's interesting. I can't wait to see the journey because I don't think I've seen someone's journey into discovering the NFL. And it's very
yeah,
very unique. Like for me, I'm like,
hmm
okay, NFL is very complicated, like just rules abound, books and books of rules abound about the NFL's
my
rules.
goodness, yeah.
Football, it's
Just
like
the little flags that they throw, these yellow flags and the red flags that they throw.
the little bean bags. Yeah. No,
I
it's
was like, oh
it's
my goodness, what? Is
yeah,
he throwing a flag? What's he throwing?
yeah.
Is that a
Like
flag?
what is that? Like what is that? No, it's pretty interesting, man. And I can't wait to see where your journey ends up. But no, I know that the longer it's just I guess one of my dying questions is how do you see yourself now as a creator of content to before you even started? Because I know that we at the base level, the first moment we recorded something, that something
Mm,
that we recorded was primarily for ourselves. That was for ourselves. We did it for our own enjoyment.
yeah,
And other
yeah,
people along the ride jumped on to what we enjoyed.
yeah,
And it slowly
yeah,
starts forming slowly
mm,
starts turning into something where it's like everyone enjoys something. Like, all right, I started this for mine,
yeah.
and we'll just turn into something that everyone can get along with or get on board with. And how would you describe yourself from before you clicked record for the first time, how you felt
Mhm.
then, to how you feel now about it? Because I
I don't think I feel different as a creator of content. I don't think that's changed. We talked a little bit just actually on the phone before we
yep.
did started this earlier on today, and I was talking about me feeling that sometimes it just feels like a routine. It got a little bit routine, just coming back, just doing this, and then editing, and it felt a little bit work like, and not taking it in. So having to take a step back or be more um, organized about recording and what that means and what it is to record, and still taking enjoyment from it and not doing it because I feel I feel like I'm letting people down if I don't do something, or I'm letting people down if I've not done a
Mhm.
live stream. It's normally on a Tuesday, it's normally on a Wednesday. I said in my last stream I was going to do something on a Thursday, and so it's hard to. That's the difference now. Is this element of feeling like you're letting people down because you didn't do the video on the Tuesday that you said you were going to do or whatever. But if I can let go of that, which I tend to eventually, I mean, it can hang on you. I think you have to let that go as a creator, otherwise. You've seen other people on YouTube, other creators on YouTube
Yeah.
having problems with mental health and things like that because
Yeah.
they feel burnt out or anything like that. I've always said in my live streams, if it comes to the point where I'm going, oh, I can't be bothered with this, then I'll stop doing the live streams or I'll cut back the live streams.
Yeah.
And it maybe got to the point where I was going, oh, this feels it feels a little bit like work. So just step back a little bit and find them more enjoyable again now. And they will continue as we spoke about as well. But I don't think I'm any different as a creator. What I'm you know me a little bit. We speak a lot, as
Mm-hmm.
people know. Or I don't know whether people know that or not. We do. We speak a lot.
Yeah.
But, so you'll know me a little bit. I'd like to be as daft as I can be in terms of making a video. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I'd like to be. I've got a lot of stupid ideas, a lot of comedic ideas, but and I think I'm at the point in my life where now I just go, I don't care whether people think it's funny or not.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
because I think if I've, and it's not necessarily that I've come up with, it's something that I've come across or that's happened to me in a day that you think that's quite funny. Actually, I think other people would find that funny, so you could do something with that. So if I found it funny, then you probably find another 50, 100 people that would find it funny as well.
Yeah.
And if that's all it is, then that's great, because it's still creating content, and that is still for me, really, because
Yeah.
it's funny. Like with the SDW77 videos, I've got the character, the cupboard Kev character, which is essentially the Scottish version of me, which lives under my stairs, and it's just me with a hat on, a little bit of a disguise, and I enjoy doing that because it's daft, it's stupid.
Yeah.
And when I first thought about it, I thought people think I'm an arsehole for doing this. I think, what an arsehole he is. Who does he think he is doing that? And then just thought, I don't care. I'll just put it out. I
Yeah.
don't care. So I'd like to be as daft as I can be, and I try to just be myself when I do my videos. You know, you see me in my videos, my edited videos that go out onto my channel, and you see me in the lives, and you speak to me personally as well. So you'll be the first one. I'm pretty sure that will say there's no difference between those three people that you see or meet or you interact with. I'm no different at any point. It's not any sort of act or persona, or there's no scripts or anything like that.
Have your coworkers found you yet?
They know I'm here. A few of them watch SDW77. They like that, and I've told a couple of them about this one. But I don't think they're massively into YouTube. They're into other stuff like The Mandalorian and stuff like that on Disney Plus. They're a bit younger than me, Daniel. They're a bit younger than you, by the way. They're a bit younger than you, by the way. Okay, so
well, The Mandalorian is easy to catch up on. Like, that's a great show, man.
Well, it is good, and I have started watching it as well. It is good. It is very good.
It is very good.
I have something to talk to them about when I'm at work.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's a good. Out of all the things they could be watching, Mandalorian is pretty awesome.
At least I understand some of what they're talking about now when I go out and they're chatting about it. I can.
Yeah, no, I mean, are you a Star Wars fan?
Oh, massive,
Star Wars or Star Trek? Which one is your?
Well, I don't dislike Star Trek at all, and I definitely went into a phase where I did sort of watch Star Trek on a regular basis. I couldn't. It was the pick with Picard, with what's his name? I can't think of it. The English actor, can't think of his
name.
Sir, what's his face?
Sir, oh my goodness.
I was going to say Ian McKellen, but it's not Ian McKellen.
No. Sir Professor Xavier.
Yeah, Captain Picard. I forgot the man's name.
Played by Professor Xavier.
Yes.
Come on.
Him. So I watched some of that. It'll come to us. Just forget about it. It'll come to us eventually. I watched some of that. And I did used to watch that consistently. But no, Star Wars, I've got that on VHS, on DVD, and on Blu-ray. I've got the full, or everything that you can see on that. I will buy, and I've subscribed now to the Disney Channel. Finally,
it's a good one.
It is a good channel.
You don't understand. It's scary how much Disney has their fingers in.
Yeah.
Because the Disney Plus channel has everything.
It has everything.
You've got your Marvel, your Star Wars, throwbacks to old cartoons as well, old movies.
Yeah.
Like,
it's got everything.
That out of all the streaming services, Netflix is definitely top, but like not so far behind is Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm. Well, anything like that, anything Marvel, anything superhero, anything time travel, all the stuff we've talked about as well on live streams and personally, all that stuff. After all my DVDs, I've got all on DVD there. But Disney Plus and things like Netflix and Stream, it's all accessible. You can just go like that, boom. You can just put it on. You don't have to go upstairs. And I know there's like is it like ceremonial almost, or there's the process of going to the cabinet, getting the DVD, getting it. Oh, here we go. Here's the DVD. Oh, we're getting it out, putting it in. There's that ceremony of doing that. It's almost like an ancient process of doing that now.
Yes, our ancestors used to
putting it in. I mean, do the youngsters of today suffer from DVDs in the wrong boxes? Is that still a
No, they
problem that
don't. I
people
don't think
suffer
they. I don't
from
think
at
they
the end of
do.
the
I feel like they use the old DVDs as coasters now to protect
day?
the furniture. Like, what is this? Oh, son,
You know,
that's an old wind chime used by our ancestors.
just an
Like,
old ancient problem that we used to have
it's
of getting
uh,
to a DVD and going, this isn't the right film in this DVD box.
what
Where's this film?
about the annoyance of the VHS when you know when someone forgot to rewind it?
It
That
took ages. It took forever. Yeah, it took
it
forever to
took
rewind.
forever. It would ruin that whole routine.
Yeah.
It would damper the whole movie. Like, okay, everyone, you're gonna have to wait. How
Mhm.
long? Who knows? Depends how long the movie is.
It's scary. It is scary. I know we're laughing about it, but it is a scary thing, right? Because we're talking about VHS, and people that watch this will probably know what VHS is as well. Of course, they will. But there is people now, obviously, as well, that if you mention VHS to them, that is like
Yeah,
an ancient technology. But to us, it's a fairly recent thing. But to them, it's nothing. It means nothing. So it might as well have happened millions of years ago because it
yeah.
means nothing and it will never mean anything to them ever again.
Or like the
So it's
floppy
almost
disk.
pointless. Yeah,
Like,
it's exactly the floppy disk. Yeah,
what is that? What is
pointless.
that weird icon that
Yeah.
says save? What is that
Mhm.
about?
A disc. I mean, this is pointless. It's all pointless stuff now. So it might not well as be just in the fairly recent past that these things were
You know,
around. It
you know
might as well
what's
have happened millions of years ago.
what's hilarious? One of the most hilarious, like not oversights, but insights or things that I found. I have these CDs of Spencer and my buddy Howie from
Mhm.
Ballyhoo. I have these CDs. Don't own a CD player.
Have I got a CD player? Well, I
Thank
could
you.
put it in. I could put it in my PlayStation. I could put a CD and play
That's
CD
the
from
only
my
yeah, but that's like
PlayStation.
just sacrilegious to put a CD into a
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Yeah, and that's a PS3, by the way. PS3, that's not even a new PlayStation.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
yeah,
but
no.
it's funny
I
though,
haven't
because
either. No, I haven't
yeah,
either.
I couldn't be we might, maybe by accident, we might have kept one
Yeah.
during the
No, I
great
have not.
purge of 2020 when everyone did their cleaning.
Well, I still have tapes. I still got tapes.
Those are coming
When
back.
well, I've still got our band sessions recorded.
What?
They're like our sessions of like 2 and 3 hour sessions that we did. It was just an old tape deck that we put in that had an open mic. You just press record, and we just used to listen back. A lot of our songs were created from messing about in band practices and going, I like that. What were you doing there? That was good. What were you doing? Play that again. Remember that bit? Try that next week when we go back and do it. So we would sit and listen to these, and I've still got them on tape there. And I'm
That's
intrigued to
crazy.
listen back to them again because it's been
But
obviously been years and years
do you
since
have
I've
a
listened to them.
cassette player?
No, but on Amazon. You can buy again. It's procrastination. I could have bought one easy. You can buy one
You should
easy. It's
you
dead
should
easy. You can
totally
buy one, and
you
it
should
converts it to
totally get one.
MP3. It converts your tape to MP3 if you buy.
Dude,
And
you
they're
should
not expensive at all.
totally have a tape listening session. I would
Oh,
watch that.
I'm looking for. I'm almost like putting it off because I'm looking forward to it so much.
Yeah.
Because I remember listening back. I can
Oh,
obviously remember listening back to them when we listened back to them, and we did used to sit and pee ourselves at some of the things we were coming out with because it was a lot of it was just talking a lot of nonsense to each other. But some good things were born of these session tapes because we went, oh, we like that. Why don't we try that again? Or what was I singing there? That was good. What did I say there? That's good. Quickly write that down. What was I singing?
yeah.
So there were
No,
good tools.
it's like the beginning part of where you created content, right?
It
It's
was, yeah, it was.
it proves a point where you watch back what you put out, and
Mhm.
that's why you put out stuff is for your own enjoyment, so
Yeah.
you can actually look at what you have out there and adjust, fire, and or keep things, edit things, remove things, see how things flow, and
Yeah, it
that's how
is.
you learn to become a critic of yourself.
It is. But they're just it's just nice nostalgia as well. It's nice nostalgia to listen back to us all as fresh-faced youngsters. Well, they were younger than me, but I mean, I was still in my 20s, early 20s. But yeah,
Did
it's very good to
Did you
listen.
ever have to, like, record something on the radio? When a track came on, did you ever rush to record
Yeah.
it right
Oh,
from the
yeah.
radio?
We used to probably a lot of people watching this as well or listening to this used to record the top 40. Normally the top 10 you'd record. You
Mhm.
weren't allowed to. It was illegal. Obviously, of course, it was
Yeah,
illegal.
of
But we
course it
used to
was.
record the top 40, put it on a tape. Top 40, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Man. Well, listen, man, I know you are a busy man. I know you're gonna have to
Not as
gear
busy as
up.
you. You're
Man,
busier.
hey, Hey,
If we're
it's
having a
just
busy
it's
contest, you're busier, I think. You
no,
have
but
child as well. You have child.
this is true. It's not just being it's not about being a dad, it's about being a father figure, you
Yes.
know?
Mhm.
That's the biggest
Absolutely.
that's the biggest calling.
Well, I enjoyed the
Um,
podcast, your podcast, your interview with Alexander. That was very good.
oh man, that was it was like
Mhm,
talk about deep, man.
mhm.
It was like hitting on like ethereal. That was like different plane of existence. You know, it's
Yeah.
meta.
I did
Because
like what he wanted to be when he grew up. That was one of my favorites.
yeah,
Batman.
yeah, Batman. I was
Yeah.
like, mom and I would have to die in order for you to become Batman, right?
One of the Batman. But then it was very quickly swayed when you said, "Well, I thought you liked Spider-Man." He said, "Oh, well, Spider-Man then."
Massive
Yeah,
switches. He
yeah.
can just go
All
in
right
and
then. All
out
right then.
of the comic.
Yeah,
What is it? The
it'd be one of them.
Giants.
It'd be one or the other of them. One of them. And you
One
were
of the
very
other.
surprised that Superman has been his favorite
Yeah, I just thought
superhero.
of Superman as a punk ass little extraterrestrial that could fly and be strong. Like I don't care
And
about
yet,
him.
just a tiny little connection there. These funny little coincidences that happen. You see, while I watched that on my iPad, you know what was on the TV while I was watching that? Superman
Catwoman.
2.
Oh,
Superman 2
Superman too. Yeah,
was on
it's
the
just
TV.
it's crazy because the only the really the only introduction he has to Superman isn't from like the newer DC stuff. It's from Superman from like
Is it?
1980
Right.
something.
Yeah,
Like the
well, that's
old
obviously
grainy
yeah.
cartoons.
Right,
Like
okay, right, the cartoons, right, okay, fine.
yeah, like the old ones, the old ones.
I'm just
And
happy that Superman's still hitting with the kids because there's so many different characters or the people that you could pick now to be your one that you like the most.
yeah,
So many that you could pick. So I grew up with Superman. That was it was Superman or Spider-Man or Batman. That's what
yeah, those are the three like
that was what it was. That's
The
all you had.
OGs, the
Yeah.
OGs of
And
the
then the baddies that went
superhero.
alongside it, some people like the baddies instead. And then you've
Yep.
got obviously Star Wars. We've talked about Star Wars. You had Star Wars as well with Darth Vader, etc., and the Emperor and everybody, and Luke and Han and all the rest. That was your good and your bad. So, but I like all of these characters now. I'll get well involved in all of these movies. That I like the fantasy, the
I,
fanatical, and all of that. I think it's really
there
good.
there's something that's coming up now that I've heard the term thrown around. It's like superhero exhaustion. Like after the world was left with Avengers Endgame, everyone is like, and we're we're done. Like
Right.
we put a good 20 years into this journey, like, and we did it. Like it brought the nostalgic feel of the comic books that everyone grew up with
Hmm.
to
Yeah.
life, and everyone's just like, yeah, we had a good run, we did great. Because I honestly, I'm with that. I'm in that camp of I can't be bothered with new superheroes. Like
There's no need for more now. There's
there's
no need.
no we
You
saw it.
can't. There surely isn't any more. There's no more. Surely there isn't any more variations of a superhero that we can come up with. Even from
No,
TV, there's been variations of superheroes in TV document or not TV documentaries, TV series as well. Surely there can't be any variations of what a superhero can do.
yeah,
Maybe villains. You can probably have plenty more villains with
I
random
think
powers
so.
that you can have. But in terms of the superheroes, they're really watchable. These are all like we said. We're still watching Superman from the 1980s. We're still
Yeah,
watching that. That's still getting watched. I'll still sit down if that's on the if I flick through as it was the other day and Superman 2 was on. I sat and watched Superman 2. I
yeah.
didn't have a plan for the day or for I was just flicking for the next
And you're
hour.
like,
Well,
oh,
yeah, hour and a half. I'll sit and
nice.
watch
Yeah,
Superman 2. I've watched
Superman
it
2.
30, 40 times, but yeah, I'll sit and watch that again. Why not?
Why not?
Why the
But
hell
no,
not?
man, it's always good, man. The superhero movies have a soft spot in my heart,
Mhm.
nostalgia. But
Yeah.
finding and seeking new ones, I'm
Yeah.
literally I
Yeah.
feel like I'm stuck in my ways. I'm that old ratchety old man yelling at the sky. I am stuck in my give me my just Iron Man, Hulk. Those are the Marvel guys. Avengers,
Yeah.
I got you. That's that. No one, we don't need to kill anyone off, add any more people. Things full. My mind cannot
Uh,
take any
uh,
more
yeah.
superheroes.
You see, if somebody sat me down and said, you can watch there's a brand new film out, but you can only watch one of them. You've got Superman, you've got an Iron Man, or you've got a Hulk. I think I'd watch the Superman.
Really? I
Hmm.
think I'm gonna go out of those three.
Hmm.
I am more I probably would watch the Hulk.
Oh, would you?
I just because it's very
You're
simplistic.
just
It's
Mr.
something
Destruction.
relatable.
That's why you like destroying things. That's
I
why
just
you like
I
that.
love the things that could tick him off, like,
Yeah.
like
Anger and destruction.
anger and
We're
destruction.
getting
Like,
a theme here. We're getting a theme.
yeah, that's pretty much it, man. But but yeah, Kev, man, listen, I really appreciate your time, man. We'll hop off. I know you're a
Very
busy,
welcome.
busy man, but thank you so much for joining the podcast. I had to find the other part of the podcast that is that is been hidden away in the annals of the computer. I had to figure out where it is because as soon as we started the podcast, like, hey man, let me just get you on real quick, and I just surprised you with like 40 questions. So
No, what do you do? You know, it is what it is. It's as I think you've said in other end of other your other podcasts. It doesn't turn into what can be just an interview, a question and interview thing. It just turns out being a chat.
yeah,
And
that's
that's all
really
it
what it
could have
is.
been really because of the relationship that we have anyway. It can only really
Yeah,
have been that. But I thank you greatly for allowing me onto your ever
of
growing
course.
and ever burgeoning channel. Really enjoy. I'll be the first to, and then the rest of everybody will be behind me as well in saying really enjoy your live stream. So I hope they don't finish because we really enjoy your live streams and they are a
Of
part of
course.
our lives as well. Your brew and banters. I know you're going to try and cut back on them, but we do love them, and I really
Yeah,
enjoy being in on them as well. It
of
does
course,
make
man.
me think back to when I was just behind the video as well and not in front of the cameras. So it's
Yeah,
nice to sit back and just and listen to you and listen to people, look at people's comments. So I hope that continues. But thank you
yeah,
for
man.
all your joy that you've given to
Of
me,
course, man.
and
Of
Spencer
course.
as well is involved in that.
Yes.
In a time where I was struggling in my life, which we've talked about, which people from our community will know about as well. You know what I've been
Yeah.
through. So it was pretty much that time I got into YouTube. Your Embrace the Suck channel was a massive part of that, which then connected me into you and to Spencer as well
Yeah.
eventually, and into this where we hire you. So thank you
Yeah.
to you. It was a
Of
big long
course,
thank
man.
you to you. That
Of
was there.
course, man. Well, thank you, and thank you to you, man. I mean, I can't wait to see where this road leads you, and hopefully, it leads to massive
Yeah,
success
thank
and
you.
utter regret. I'm kidding. Like, it's like I hope you get so big that you regret becoming famous.
That I have to
That
move
is
into a massive house and just record just extravagantly expensive videos, just frivolously. Hope that's what it leads
That's the goal. That's the goal. All
to.
right, man. Well, listen, to everyone watching, thank you for watching us banter away. And make sure you guys go and check out Kevin7 SCW77. And I'll put all your links in the video and the descriptions and stuff like
Thank you.
that. And thank you for being part of our community. Thank you for being part of the circle of friends that I hang out with. Thank you for just being you and continue being you and don't stop, man. And we'll see you, all of you guys, on the next Unplugged Nation podcast. Make sure you unplug and do something legendary. And thank you again, Kev.
You're
See
welcome.
you
Thank
later,
you.
man.